This is Local 15 Today.
All right, good morning. Time now, 5:59. I'm Kelly Jones.
And I'm Darwin Singleton, and we thank you for joining us for Local 15 Today.
All right, so this morning we're following several new and still developing stories, beginning with that fire which destroyed a black church in South Carolina, happening while you were sleeping.
Here locally, Mobile Police hope this surveillance video will help them find the men responsible for shooting a woman in the face early Sunday morning at a traffic light.
And this parasailing company in Gulf Shores may lose their business license after 3 people injured in a parasailing accident. You're just moments away from these stories and many other headlines in this newscast.
But first, let's take a look at your weather with meteorologist Dee Tate. Good
All
morning,
right.
Dee.
Hey, good morning, everyone. As far as what's going on out there, it's 71 degrees in the city of Mobile. We're off to a seasonable start. We should be right around there for this time of year. As far as Pensacola, you're a little bit warmer. You're at 76. Dew points are in the 70s, though, so that means it's going to be a muggy day. We do have a chance for some scattered afternoon showers and storms, so don't forget that umbrella. We're going to be dodging rain really through Friday as far as your weather headlines, and thankfully it's looking like it's going to be less wet as we head towards the 4th of July. But getting you out the door, we're expecting dry conditions, and through 9 o'clock we'll go with 80. By noon we'll be at 87, topping out at 90, but cooling it down this afternoon. We're going to have about a 40% rain coverage today. It's 6:01 right now, and traffic into the George Wallace Tunnel looking good. We have a few cars going in and out, no backups there. Different perspective across the Bayway, looking good as well in both directions. And here's a view of I-10 at the Daphne exit, no problem.
All right, church is on fire. It's a big story we're following this morning coming out of Greeleyville, South Carolina. Federal officials are investigating a fire. This happened at Mount Zion African Methodist Episcopal Church. Now, that is traditionally an African-American church.
The 8,000 square foot church has been deemed a total loss. As you can see right here from this video, the brick is still standing, but officials say inside of the church, that is what is destroyed. The roof collapsed at this time. The cause is not known. A Mount Zion AME church is one of at least 6 black churches that have burned since the racially motivated shootings, that massacre in Charleston last month.
I think Emmanuel AME has shown us the way to deal with tragedy, and that is to draw your strength from the Lord and come together as a community and meet whatever adversary you may have with a spirit of love. So I think this community has done that in the past, and they will do that now.
Officials say it is still too soon as to know what caused this fire. There were thunderstorms with frequent lightning in the area. Officials also say they do not know if this fire is a result of a hate crime.
Now, he mentioned the past. This is that past. This is video of a fire destroying the same church almost exactly 20 years ago to the day. The church was burned down by the Ku Klux Klan. This happened June 20th, 1995. It was rebuilt and rededicated a year later. Again, officials say it's too soon to say that this fire is related to a hate crime.
Mount Zion AME is now one of 7 black churches, 5 of which in southern states, which have burned since those racially motivated shootings happened in Charleston, South Carolina last month. So far, 3 of the fires have been identified as arson, but none have been confirmed to be hate crimes. Of course, we will continue to follow the story and bring you the very latest.
Now, Mobile Police here at home have released surveillance video hoping that you can help them find the men police say are responsible for a shooting, a woman shot in the face at a traffic light. Now, take a look at this video on your screen. These images captured just 10 minutes before the woman was shot early Sunday morning. The men you see here are persons of interest, and police need your help in finding them.
The quality of the video is a little grainy, but we are hoping that someone will see or recognize someone on the video and definitely give us a call.
Police say they have received several calls, but none have led to a lead so far. If you have information that might help identify these men, you're asked to call Mobile Police at 208-7211. Mobile Police found that there have been 550 crimes in the first half of this year in the Village Green area. Officials made the discovery using their hotspot policing technique. The Village Green area includes 6 apartment complexes off Azalea Road, including Azalea Point and Clearview. MPD plans to combat the higher crime level using techniques like curfew enforcement and safety checkpoints, the first of which will be today.
Time now 6:04. Across the bay we go as a parasailing business in Gulf Shores could have its business license revoked if officials find out they were operating unsafely. Take a look at this video. It shows dangerous weather approaching. A man and a woman parasailing just moments before the rope snapped. Thankfully, officials say they suffered non-life-threatening injuries. They were treated at a local hospital. A man on the boat was cut by the rope when it snapped, but his injuries were treated on the beach. Other parasailing businesses say this accident was avoidable.
Common sense. Operators and owners know what to fly in, what not to fly in, and it's that simple. You know, our motto and our slogan with our company is we don't fly our kids, we don't fly you or yours, and most of us take that very seriously.
PKP, or Perdido Key Parasail, is licensed in the city. Officials are awaiting results, they say, from the U.S. Coast Guard before taking any action. Back here closer to home here in Mobile, those strong winds that we were talking about yesterday at noon especially, take a look at the damage left behind, uprooted trees and a power line knocked as well. You're looking at video from Baltimore Street at Kentucky in Mobile Tuesday afternoon where that tree fell onto a power line right there. Also, it blocked the roadway on Royal Street in downtown. Strong winds knocked down this small tree. It landed on top of two vehicles. I know a couple of Facebook friends and on Twitter, I mean, from a social media standpoint, people were tweeting and talking about the weather that they were seeing.
It surprised everybody yesterday.
Yeah. But coming off the noon show, though, I know we were ready because we'd been talking about the numbers, and Dee was monitoring so many different colors happening. And then all of a sudden that alert came out, and it's like, okay, this is that time of year.
I saw purple on Dee's map yesterday, which is something you don't see very often. So, yeah, it was very strong yesterday. All right, we're taking a look at some international news at this hour. The death toll from that military plane crash that we told you about yesterday morning in Indonesia, well, it has now risen to 135.
Authorities say the plane, that plane had 122 people on board when it went down shortly after takeoff. Officials say the plane was trying to return to land after the pilot radioed in that there was a technical problem, and they suspect engine trouble may have caused this fatal crash. Cause of the crash still under investigation.
After more than half a century, President Obama is expected to announce later this morning that the U.S. is reopening its embassy in Havana, Cuba. Officials say this is the next step now that Cuba's been taken off the list of states that sponsor terror. Sources believe Secretary of State John Kerry will head to Havana July 20th to open that embassy.
The more they change, the faster they change, the better for both countries.
It's all smoke and mirrors. Nothing will change for the benefit for the American people.
Everyone doesn't agree that the U.S. should normalize relations with Cuba. Opponents in Congress could try to block funds to fund the embassy or delay confirming an ambassador.
Great news coming out of Cuba this morning as, according to the World Health Organization, also known as WHO, Cuba has become the first nation to eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV and of syphilis. This is big health news. The WHO validated a study which describes the breakdown of therapies developed in labs of the Cuban government's health service. One woman was infected with HIV. She benefited from what the WHO says is a, quote, first-of-its-kind therapy. She feared transmitting her disease to her newborn baby, but her daughter was declared free of the virus when she was 18 months old.
I am proud to announce my candidacy for the Republican nomination for President of the United States of America.
Add one more to the crowded Republican presidential field. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie announced his presidential aspirations Tuesday. Christie is the 14th major candidate for the Republican nomination. He's been New Jersey's governor since 2010. Today's show's Matt Lauer got an exclusive interview with Governor Christie after he announced his run for president, and you can watch a portion of that interview coming up on the Today Show after our cast.
All right, time now is 6:08. You know, this morning we now know even more about the Pope's visit to the U.S. The pontiff will arrive in Washington, D.C. September 22nd, and he will meet with President Obama the next day. The Pope will also speak to Congress on the morning of September 24th before heading to the Big Apple. And while in New York on the 25th, the pontiff will speak before the UN General Assembly and hold Mass at Madison Square Garden. He will conclude his U.S. trip in Philadelphia September 27th, where he will visit a prison and lead a mass for the World Meeting of Families.
All right, stay tuned. Here's a look at the radar. Looks great now, but we do have a chance for showers this afternoon. I'll walk you through the planner coming up.
And the 4th of July is just 3 days away now. Find out how Dauphin Island is celebrating and how you can join in on the fun.